I never thought that one ordinary afternoon could change my life forever. My name is Alex, a typical college student, juggling classes, part-time work, and the quiet routines that filled my days. I had a girlfriend, Olivia, who was loving but perceptive, sometimes too perceptive for my own comfort. Most of my life revolved around keeping my routines intact, avoiding surprises, and living in a world where my secrets stayed safely tucked away. Secrets like my fascination with experimenting with makeup and crossdressing. Not something I did openly, of course. It wasn't a hobby I could share without judgment or teasing. It all started in my apartment that Saturday morning. The sunlight spilled lazily through the blinds, dust particles floating in the warm glow as I sipped my coffee, scrolling aimlessly through my phone. Olivia was out running errands, which meant I had a few hours to myself, a rarity, a moment of freedom. But even in solitude, my thoughts were never entirely mine. I constantly wondered what Olivia would think if she ever discovered my hidden side. The thought made my stomach twist in excitement and anxiety all at once. Then came the knock. Loud, insistent, and impossibly cheerful. "Alex, are you home?" My sister's voice rang through the hallway. Lily, my younger sister. She had always been unpredictable, a whirlwind of energy and curiosity. She had a mischievous streak a mile wide, and lately, a fascination with anything magical. Books, spells, charms, potions. Honestly, I should have known trouble would follow when she waved that book of hers around like a prize trophy. "Yeah, come in," I called, trying to mask my unease. Lily burst into my apartment, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "You have to see this," she exclaimed, brandishing a small, leather-bound book covered in strange symbols. "I found it at that new shop downtown. It's magical, Alex. Real magic. I'm going to try a spell today, and I want you to help me." I froze, coffee halfway to my lips. "Help you?" I asked cautiously. "Yes. You're perfect for it. I need someone to, transform. Just for a little while. Something fun." "Don't worry, it's safe," she said, practically bouncing on the balls of her feet. Her excitement was infectious, but my mind screamed caution. I had always been the more grounded sibling, the one careful with decisions, the one who preferred logic to chaos. But Lily had a knack for pulling me into chaos despite myself. I hesitated, my internal conflict rising. On one hand, it was just a spell, a harmless game, surely. On the other, something in her eyes told me this was no ordinary prank. "What kind of spell?" I asked, keeping my tone neutral, though my heart raced. Lily leaned closer, lowering her voice to a conspiratorial whisper. "It's a twin spell. You'll look just like me. Isn't that amazing? You'd be my magical twin for the day." I blinked. My sister wants me to look like her? The idea felt absurd at first. Lily was petite, with soft features and long brown hair that framed her face like a perfect frame. I, on the other hand, had a more angular jawline and broader shoulders. But the thought of transformation, the forbidden thrill of becoming someone else, even temporarily, tugged at a hidden part of me. I don't know, Lily. I started hesitant. "What if something goes wrong?" She waved a hand dramatically. "Nothing will go wrong. I promise. Just a little spell. You'll be beautiful, like me. Come on, it'll be fun. You've always been curious about trying new things, haven't you?" The words hit me like a soft shockwave. She knew me. Somehow, she always did. The little secrets I held close, the desire to experiment, the hidden part of me that longed for exploration. Lily seemed to sense them. She wasn't judging. She was offering freedom, wrapped in the guise of her playful mischief. I hesitated, my thoughts spinning. Part of me wanted to refuse, to cling to my ordinary, safe life. But the other part, the part that craved thrill, transformation, and the unknown, urged me forward. I nodded slowly. "Okay, I'll do it. But only if you promise nothing dangerous happens." Lily's grin stretched from ear to ear. "I promise." She clapped her hands, then grabbed my wrist, dragging me to the small corner of the living room where she had cleared space. Candles flickered around a strange circle she had drawn on the floor, and the air smelled faintly of herbs and incense. The book lay open before us, pages filled with intricate runes and diagrams. "Now," she said, her voice dropping to a theatrical whisper, "you have to concentrate. Imagine yourself as me. Feel my energy, my shape, my hair, my eyes. The spell will guide your body to match mine." I closed my eyes, my pulse racing. The thought of letting go, of becoming her, becoming someone else entirely, sent shivers down my spine. The air seemed to thrum with anticipation, the flickering candlelight casting shifting shadows across the room. Lily began to chant softly, words unfamiliar but melodic, almost hypnotic. I felt a warmth spread through me, starting from my chest, crawling along my arms, my legs reshaping. When I opened my eyes moments later, the reflection in the mirror made me catch my breath. Lily stood behind me, eyes wide with excitement, as I stared at the reflection that was no longer mine. My features had softened, my hair cascaded like hers, and even the subtle expressions, the tilt of my lips, the arch of my eyebrows, matched hers. I was her twin. A thrill surged through me, mixed with fear and disbelief. The transformation was real. I reached up, touching my face, my new hair, my new body. I could hardly believe it. Lily laughed beside me, a musical, triumphant sound. "See? I told you. Magical twins." I felt a strange mix of exhilaration and anxiety. Part of me wanted to revel in this new form, to explore it fully, to experiment with makeup, dresses, and all the feminine expressions I had secretly fantasized about. But another part feared the implications. What would Olivia think? How could I hide this transformation? And most of all, could I ever become me again? Lily grabbed my hands, spinning me around once more. "Don't worry. You'll love it. We have the whole afternoon, just us. You can explore, play, be free." I nodded slowly, a mixture of excitement and apprehension settling over me. Today was no longer ordinary. Today, my world had shifted. Today, my secret desires, my hidden fascination with transformation, had collided with real magic. And deep down, I knew I was about to discover just how thrilling, terrifying, and complicated it could be to become someone else, even if only for a day. The first moments after the spell were surreal. I barely recognized the reflection staring back at me in Lily's mirror. My broad shoulders had softened, my jawline slimmed, and my brown hair, my sister's hair, flowed past my shoulders in silky waves. My hands trembled as I touched my face, my new body responding with unfamiliar delicacy. Every small movement felt like a revelation. The subtle tilt of my head, the curve of my waist, the way my hips swayed slightly as I shifted weight. I was no longer Alex, the cautious, average college student. I was Lily's twin, a mirror image of her playful, lively self. Lily clapped her hands, her excitement infectious. "Okay, twin. Now comes the fun part. Time to explore who you can be." I swallowed hard. Part of me panicked. What would Olivia think? What would people at school think if they saw me like this? But another part of me, the part one rarely acknowledged, burned with excitement. A thrill coursed through me, warming my chest. I wanted to see myself, to feel myself in this new body, to push boundaries I'd never dared explore before. Lily handed me a small makeup bag. "Start with something simple. A little blush, a bit of eyeshadow. Just enough to enhance your features." My hands shook as I opened it, fingers brushing against smooth powders, delicate brushes, and shimmering pigments. I had experimented with my own makeup in secret, but never like this, never with the permission, the encouragement, the complete freedom to transform. The first stroke of blush on my cheeks sent shivers down my spine. It felt electric, intimate, and yet liberating. "See? Doesn't it feel amazing?" Lily asked, leaning against the dresser, her eyes glittering with anticipation. I nodded, barely able to speak. I applied the eyeshadow carefully, watching my reflection change with each stroke. My eyes, now mirroring Lily's, seemed to glow in the mirror. My lips, tinted softly with pink, curved in a hesitant smile. The transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional. I felt lighter, freer, more myself than I had in years, paradoxically, in a body that wasn't originally mine. But with that freedom came fear. My mind raced with what-ifs. What if Olivia walked in? What if someone else saw me? What if I couldn't return to myself? Anxiety gripped me briefly, a cold reminder that this experiment wasn't without stakes. I tried to push it down, focusing on the thrill of the moment, on the exciting novelty of this second identity. Lily, sensing my hesitation, guided me to the wardrobe. Time to pick an outfit. Something that makes you feel magical. I scanned the collection of clothes, skirts, dresses, blouses, delicate fabrics I had never dared touch. Each piece seemed to promise transformation, yet whispered caution. My fingers hovered over a soft, pastel dress. The thought of wearing it both terrified and thrilled me. Finally, I chose it, and Lily clapped. Perfect. You're going to look stunning, she said. As I changed, the texture of the fabric against my skin was intoxicating. Every movement accentuated my new shape. I felt vulnerable yet exhilarated, aware of the small thrill in walking differently, in holding myself with a newfound poise. The mirror reflected a version of me I had never dared imagine. Soft, elegant, beautiful. When I finished, Lily stepped back, her eyes wide. You look incredible. Just like me. I looked at my reflection, barely recognizing the person staring back. The exhilaration surged again, stronger this time. I wanted to run my fingers through my hair, twirl in the dress, and revel in the sheer audacity of my transformation. But then the suspense crept in. Olivia. She could be home any minute. The thought made my stomach twist, fear and excitement intertwined. I wasn't sure if I could hide this new self from her, and the idea of being caught both thrilled and terrified me. Lily noticed my hesitation. Relax. She won't come back yet. You've got time. Play, explore, have fun. I nodded, letting myself breathe. Slowly, I began to move differently, more delicately, as if testing the limits of this new body. Every step felt different. The heels Lily had coaxed me into wobbled slightly, forcing me to adjust my balance. The sensation was strange, foreign, yet intoxicating. I experimented with gestures, with facial expressions, with the subtle art of femininity I had only studied in secret. Each small discovery, the tilt of my head, the flutter of my lashes, the sway of my hips, brought a surge of excitement. I was performing, yes, but also exploring a hidden part of myself I had never allowed to breathe. Lily giggled, watching my tentative movements. You're unnatural. Honestly, Alex, or should I say Lily 2.0? You've got talent. I think you might enjoy this more than you're admitting. I flushed, feeling a mix of embarrassment and pride. Her words were encouraging, yet teasing. The duality mirrored my own internal conflict. I wanted to embrace this identity fully, yet part of me feared the consequences, the exposure, the judgment. As I practiced, the magical spell seemed to enhance more than just my appearance. I felt lighter, my mind sharper, emotions more vivid. Each small action, running a hand along my hair, smoothing the dress, adjusting my posture, felt magnified, symbolic, as if the magic was amplifying my inner desires, making them tangible. Time slipped by in a blur. I twirled, posed, experimented, my confidence growing with each passing minute. Yet, lurking beneath the excitement was the persistent shadow of anxiety. What if the magic wore off unexpectedly? What if I was stuck? What if Olivia returned early? Each thought added a layer of suspense, a thrill that heightened the emotional stakes. Then Lily suggested something daring, a small photo session. Let's capture this. You need proof of your transformation. She handed me her phone, and I posed tentatively, feeling like a model discovering herself for the first time. Each photo reinforced the surreal reality. I was someone else entirely, yet somehow still me. The afternoon passed in a whirlwind of experimentation. Makeup, dresses, poses, playful gestures. Each moment deepened my fascination and heightened my emotional connection to this new identity. The fear of being caught lurked in the background, a steady drumbeat of suspense that made every movement more thrilling. But as the sun began to dip lower in the sky, a new tension crept in. The familiar sound of a key turning in the lock echoed from the front door. Olivia was home early. Panic surged. My heart raced as Lily whispered urgently, "Quick, hide the evidence." I scrambled, pulling off the dress, hiding the makeup, my hands shaking. My pulse thundering, I slipped into my normal clothes as fast as possible, but the sensation of the spell, of transformation, of exhilaration, of being someone else, lingered, making it difficult to return entirely to normal. Olivia entered, humming softly, completely unaware. I forced a calm smile, trying to mask the residual thrill and anxiety. Lily giggled quietly from her corner, a mischievous twinkle in her eyes. That moment, teetering between discovery and concealment, marked the height of tension. The spell had given me freedom, excitement, and a glimpse of a hidden part of myself. But it had also created suspense, fear, and the potential for exposure. I realized, with a thrill that was both exhilarating and terrifying, that my life would never be the same. The day had been transformative in every sense, physically, emotionally, and psychologically. I had tasted freedom, explored a hidden identity, and felt the electrifying mix of excitement and fear that comes from standing on the edge of a secret world. And yet, the most suspenseful moments were still ahead. The magic, the thrill, the duality of my identity, they were only just beginning. The following morning, the spell's effects remained potent. I woke to the soft sunlight filtering through Lily's bedroom curtains, my reflection already catching my eye in the mirror. I barely recognized the delicate face staring back at me, my own features softened, my hair cascading like Lily's, my body an uncanny twin of hers. A thrill ran through me, but so did a nervous tremor. I had grown accustomed to this new self, but now reality crept back. School, friends, Olivia, and the potential consequences of discovery. Lily bounced into the room, a mischievous grin plastered across her face. Time to show off my handiwork. I froze. Show off? Already? My stomach twisted, a cocktail of anxiety and excitement. We had practiced, posed, and experimented yesterday, but to reveal this new identity to the outside world, even for just a few people, felt like stepping off a cliff. Lily waved her hand dismissively. "Don't worry. You'll be fine. I'll coach you through it. It's just school, just a few familiar faces. No one will suspect a thing." I took a deep breath, the unfamiliar sensation of confidence, or perhaps courage born of the spell, warming me. We arrived at school, and every step was a delicate dance. My heels clicked softly on the pavement, and I caught glimpses of my reflection in the glass doors. I looked beautiful, irresistible, perfect. And yet, fear pulsed through my veins like electricity. What if someone recognized me? What if Olivia noticed? The first encounter was with my closest friend, Marcus. He stopped dead in his tracks, mouth agape. "Alex? Wait, what?" I forced a demure smile, fingers fidgeting lightly with the hem of my skirt. "It's me," I murmured, voice softer, higher, more melodic than my usual tone. Marcus blinked several times, trying to process the transformation. "Whoa, you will look amazing." His eyes widened with awe, admiration, and a hint of disbelief. A thrill surged through me at his words, but so did panic. Olivia could walk in any second, and I was already out of my normal control. Lily whispered in my ear, "Keep calm. Confidence. Own it." I straightened my posture, lifted my chin, and took a tentative step forward. The reactions were instantaneous. Heads turned, whispers fluttered through the hallways, and I felt the intoxicating rush of attention. I was powerful, glamorous, and yet exposed. But the spell's true test came unexpectedly. In the bustling hallway, Olivia appeared, backpack slung over one shoulder, her eyes scanning the crowd. I froze mid-step. My heart pounded, and I could feel every pulse in my chest. Her eyes locked onto mine. Recognition dawned slowly, a shadow of confusion crossing her face. Alex? Wait, what? The panic hit full force. I tried to speak, to explain, but Lily grabbed my hand, whispering urgently, "Stay calm. Act natural." I forced a laugh, a high-pitched, delicate sound that sounded alien to my own ears. "Hey, Olivia." Surprise. She took a step closer, brow furrowed, gaze narrowing. "Is this some kind of joke?" Before I could answer, the hall erupted with laughter and whispers. Students were pointing, taking out phones, capturing this unbelievable transformation. I realized then that the spell had not just changed me, it had made me a magnet for attention, and now everyone was watching. My palms were slick, my legs trembling slightly in heels, but a strange exhilaration ran through me. For the first time, I felt entirely seen, entirely powerful, and entirely exposed all at once. Olivia's face shifted from confusion to something I couldn't read. Was it surprise, admiration, or anger? "Alex, what are you doing?" I opened my mouth, but my voice caught. I couldn't lie convincingly, not fully. The truth spilled in fragments. "It's Lily Sheeta's spell. I'm her twin now." Her eyes widened, disbelief colliding with concern. "A spell." The hall's chaos escalated. Some students laughed, some whispered, some stared in awe. I felt the weight of exposure, my secret identity no longer safe. Panic threatened to consume me, but then Lily stepped forward, calm and confident, placing a hand on my shoulder. "Don't worry. You're amazing. Own it," she said firmly. I drew in a deep breath, feeling the residual thrill of the spell and the growing sense of courage. I raised my chin, meeting Olivia's gaze directly. "Yes, it's real. And I want to try this. To explore this side of me." The hall fell silent, the audacity of my declaration hanging heavy. Olivia's expression softened slightly, but tension remained. "Alex, this is a lot to take in." Before she could respond further, a teacher appeared, drawn by the commotion. My pulse quickened. What now? I could be reprimanded, laughed at, or worse, made to revert. The teacher's gaze swept over me, her eyes widening slightly. "Alex, you look different today." I forced a calm smile, feeling a mix of defiance, thrill, and vulnerability. "Yes, different," I admitted softly. As the morning wore on, the challenges mounted. Students whispered, some tried to approach, some took selfies with me, and all the while, the pressure to maintain composure grew unbearable. Each step, each gesture, each smile was a careful performance. One slip, one misstep, and the spell's magic could unravel under scrutiny. Then came the pivotal moment. A rival student, someone who disliked me in my previous identity, stepped forward. "Nice dress, Alex. Did your sister help you pick it?" His smirk was sharp, and I felt my heart thud against my ribs. I froze, unsure how to respond. The spotlight was unforgiving, the tension tangible. Lily leaned close, whispering, "You can handle this." Confidence. I squared my shoulders, smiled gently, and replied, "Thank you. I wanted to try something new." The ripple of reactions surprised me. Some laughed nervously, some murmured approvingly. My rival's smirk faltered slightly, and I felt a surge of power. The spell wasn't just cosmetic, it was empowering, giving me courage I had never possessed. By midday, I was navigating a minefield of social interactions, my dual identity fully active. The thrill of exposure, combined with fear, made every gesture, every glance, every word electrifying. I realized then that the spell had not just transformed my appearance, it had transformed my sense of self, revealing a boldness I had kept hidden. But suspense still lingered. Olivia's gaze followed me constantly, and I knew she was weighing her response. Would she accept this new identity? Would she mock it, fear it, or embrace it? Each interaction heightened the tension, creating a complex web of emotional stakes. Finally, during lunch, an unexpected twist occurred. The spell began to flicker slightly, subtle distortions rippling across my reflection in a polished surface. Panic surged. What if it wore off midday? I looked at Lily, who shook her head, a mix of concern and mischief. This is it, the ultimate test, she whispered. Stay confident. Don't let them see you falter. I clenched my fists, feeling the duality of exhilaration and fear. Every step, every breath, every smile became a calculated act of survival, a dance between self-expression and concealment. The bell rang, signaling the end of the period. I walked through the crowded hallways, heels clicking, heart pounding, aware that every student, every glance, every whisper added layers of tension. I had become both performer and experiment, observed and vulnerable, exhilarated and terrified. As the final class approached, the spell's effects shimmered, the magic amplifying every sensation. My reflection in a window caught my eye, a perfect twin of Lily, yet unmistakably me. And in that reflection, I saw the ultimate truth. I was no longer just Alex or Lily. I was both, and the thrill, fear, and exhilaration of this duality would define everything moving forward. The final bell echoed through the school hallways, a sharp reminder that the day wasn't over yet. My legs ached from the unfamiliar heels, and my reflection in every window reminded me of the duality I was living, Alex trapped in Lily's perfectly sculpted image. Every glance from friends, rivals, and even strangers was a reminder that the spell's effects had made me both irresistible and vulnerable. Olivia approached me in the corridor, her steps cautious. Her eyes flickered between disbelief and something softer, something I couldn't fully read. Alex, this is a lot. Are you sure you're okay? I hesitated, struggling to find the words. Could I tell her the truth? Could I explain the thrill, the fear, the complete exhilaration of becoming Lily's twin? My heart raced, and I realized that even as I spoke, my voice sounded different, lighter, melodic, feminine. I'm okay, I finally said, forcing a calm smile. It's new, but I think I like it. Her expression softened slightly, though the tension lingered. You look different. Amazing, but different. I don't know what to think yet. Before I could respond, the hallway doors burst open. My rival from earlier, smirking again, waved a piece of paper. Guess what, Alex? Some photos are already online. Everyone's talking about the school's new princess. Panic clawed at my chest. I froze, the paper trembling in my hand. The spell had transformed me physically, yes, but it hadn't protected me from exposure, from judgment, from scrutiny. My private experiment, my daring thrill, was now public. My identity, carefully balanced between Alex and Lily, teetered on the edge of collapse. Lily grabbed my hand, pulling me into a nearby classroom. Don't panic. You can handle this. We'll figure it out. Just breathe. I nodded, heart pounding, as we watched the chaos from the doorway. Students laughed, whispered, and pointed, some snapping photos with their phones. My stomach churned. This was beyond anything I had imagined. The spell had given me courage, beauty, and confidence, but now it had also thrown me into the storm of exposure. Olivia approached cautiously, glancing around. Alex, are you really okay with all of this? I met her gaze, feeling the weight of every emotion, the thrill, the fear, the embarrassment, the exhilaration. I think I have to be, I admitted. I can't just hide anymore. A sudden knock on the classroom door froze us both. We turned, hearts racing. Standing there was the school principal, her eyes narrowing, her lips pressed in a tight line. Alex, I need a word. Now. My breath hitched. Lily squeezed my hand, whispering urgently, Don't lose your composure. Remember, confidence. I swallowed hard, my reflection in the classroom window showing a flawless twin of Lily. I took a deep breath, lifted my chin, and followed the principal, every step echoing in my ears. As we walked down the empty hallway, my mind raced. Would she punish me? Would she demand I change back immediately? Would Olivia's perception of me shift forever? The thrill of the spell now mixed with dread, a cocktail of emotions I had never experienced. Then, a sudden buzz from my phone broke the tension. A notification. The photos had gone viral. The school's social media channels were flooded with images of me as Lily. Whispers of admiration, teasing, and curiosity filled every corner of the school, and I realized that nothing would ever be the same again. Olivia's hand found mine, a grounding presence amid the chaos. Alex, whatever happens, we'll figure this out. Just stay true to yourself. I nodded, the reality sinking in. I was no longer just Alex, nor just Lily. I was something in between, and the world was watching. Every decision, every step, every glance could reveal me, challenge me, or crush me. As the principal stopped at her office door, she turned to me with a raised eyebrow. Well, Alex, let's see how you handle this nudes persona. My heart thundered. I stepped inside, the door closing behind me, the hallway noises fading into a tense silence. And then, a faint shimmer in the air caught my eye, something magical, lingering, unpredictable. The spell that wasn't done. Something else was coming. Something I hadn't anticipated. My reflection in the polished office window blurred, shifting subtly. For a brief, terrifying moment, I saw not just me or Lily, but something entirely new, something I couldn't name. I swallowed, trembling, as the door clicked shut behind me. Everything I knew, everything I thought I controlled, was about to change again. And in that suspended moment, I realized I wasn't just Alex or Lily anymore. I was on the brink of something far bigger, far more dangerous, and far more thrilling than I could ever have imagined. The screen fades to black, leaving the audience wondering, what will happen next? Will Alex retain control of the spell? Will Olivia accept this new identity? And what new challenges await now that the world has seen the school's perfect princess?